2 chapters in, and I am so fucking confused. It's not even funny. I'm so done with this book. I think I'm gonna DNF it. I can't stand it anymore. I can't. I've now read several different reviews, and the ones giving it high praise don't describe any reasons why they like it. They just say, great book, awesome premise. Hey Dragonlings, this week's vlog is going to be another reading vlog, only because like I haven't really picked up my phone and filmed much the past few weeks, month or so, and I do not feel guilty about that, but that's okay. So today we're going to be talking about The Queen of the Tearling. This is by Erika Johansen. It is a YA fantasy novel about a young woman who, it's on her 19th birthday, she is collected to go basically take over her kingdom. She's been hidden away because there's plots to kill her, and the whole novel is about her journey to go take her throne, and then her plan to like bring the kingdom back to glory state, basically. That's the short and gist of it. I did not end up finishing this book. There was a lot of reasons why. All of them I'll get into in this vlog, but I do have a trigger warning for those who need it, because this book is very heavily, and I do complain about this a lot, very heavily into slavery, as well as sexual assault and rape. So trigger warnings for those topics if you need them, but otherwise you get to listen to me rant for the next 30 minutes about a book that I absolutely hated and did not finish. So enjoy. So I'm in the process of reading Queen of the Tearling by, I don't remember her name, Johansen? That doesn't sound right, but it's close enough. And I'm 2 chapters in. I don't remember how many chapters there are. Not as many as I thought, but 2 chapters in. And I am so fucking confused, it's not even funny. And I'm really hoping I get some answers, but I actually had to stop and read some reviews because I am not liking the story at all. I've wanted to read this book for years, and when I saw it available on Libby, I jumped at the chance to read it. Plus, because it starts with a Q, it would be perfect as the last book I need to read for the A to Z challenge. So I was like, perfect, I'll read this, it'll be great. I hate it so much. I have no idea where this story takes place. I thought it was a fantasy world in a, like, a completely fantasy world not related to this. But it's talking about New Europe. What? Is this a portal fantasy? Like, where are we taking place? I realize that there's maps if I had the physical book, or I believe even the ebook has physical maps, but I'm not reading the ebook. I'm listening to the audiobook. The other thing is that the whole point of the story is that the Kelsey, how do you pronounce her name? Kells, I'm just gonna call her Kells. She is the queen. She's marked by the necklace that she wears and a scar on her arm, except for the way it sounds is that the scar is like a birthmark, and I don't understand that. It's supposed to be a marking that's on her that marks her as the queen. I don't get it. She's been hidden away for years. She's now 19. She's supposed to be returned to the kingdom to take the throne. Her uncle is currently regent. Her mother passed away, was killed, assassinated, I think she's died. Anyway, she was still a child when her mom died, and her uncle is acting as regent of the kingdom, and she is supposed to be returning to the throne to take it over. She was raised in secret. The people who took her, who raised her, taught her to read, taught her to speak various languages, taught her various things, but she doesn't really know how to fight. She doesn't really know how to lead. They knew she was going to be taking over the kingdom. Like, why wasn't she taught any of this? Why wasn't she taught how to be a fucking queen? That doesn't make any sense to me. The other thing is that all this secrecy about her mom and the way her mom ruled, which makes absolutely no fucking sense too, because the fact that she's supposed to be taking over and being queen herself, like, it makes sense to me that you teach the future queen how to be a fucking future queen, and she needs to know the history of her kingdom. Why the fuck is her mom's reign a secret? Like, what the fuck? And then another thing is that, like, especially, like, if she's supposed to become queen herself, like, she needs to know where her kingdom currently stands. And other than being told that her uncle is the bad guy because her uncle wants her dead, like, she apparently knows this going in. I don't, there's too many questions. I have too many questions. And I don't feel like I'm getting any answers. So far this feels like a journey story because we're just traveling. The whole story starts with the Queen's Guard, the old Queen's Guard, her mom's Queen's Guard, showing up randomly in this place that is supposed to be hidden and elusive. Like, how were they found? I don't understand that. And they are supposed to be guarding her and taking her back to the kingdom to take over the throne. That's fine. They're being hunted. They're being tracked. With the use of hawks. Again, not a problem. Why the fuck are all the guards separating in order to do this? I understand separating, like, somewhat. Like, dividing the party, divide and conquer kind of thing. But no, like, every single guard. It's almost like they're 2 or 3 days into this journey, and it seems like every single guard, they knew they were being hunted the entire time. They knew they were being tracked the entire time. But all of a sudden, like, oh, we gotta go, and everyone goes their own ways with the intention they're never gonna see each other again. And only one is left with her. And yet, they took the time to take one of the guards' armor off and put it on her, and put her on a horse she's never ridden before. Like, there's too many things that don't make bloody sense so far. And literally, they're on the run now. They put her on a horse she's never ridden before and expected her to be able to control this horse and wear armor she's never worn before, all in the sense of disguise when they've already been spotted. Like, where's the logic? Where's the logic? And she has this necklace that she's been told all her life she's never supposed to take it off. No one will tell her why. No one will tell that. What is the purpose of this necklace? And on top of that, when she left her caretakers, one of them gave her a package and said, don't open it until you're alone, kind of thing, and on the road. And all that's in it is another necklace that is an exact replica of the one she's already wearing, and the words careful. What the fuck? What the actual, like, what is going on in this story? And again, there seems to be snippets here and there of, like, the history, and it doesn't feel very fantasy. It feels almost dystopian. Like, I do not understand what is going on in the world, in this particular world. Like, is this a dystopian? Is this an alternate universe? Like, I don't get it. I am getting all this information about the kingdom of Tearling, and all this information about the kingdom of the Red Queen, which starts with M, and I cannot pronounce it for the life of me off the top of my head right now. But I'm not getting any information that, like, builds the world around it. There's, like, subtle hints with the mentionings of New Europe and the mentioning of the crossing, whatever that is, or the Great Crossing, whatever that is. I don't know which one it is. But, like, I don't understand this world. I don't understand. There's been mention of dragons once, and I'm like, ooh, are we gonna get dragons? Is this a dragon story? Are we gonna get dragons? That would be super cool. Probably, like, make the story, like, does that have something to do with the necklace? Are the necklaces to control dragons? But there's been no mention of dragons since. There's literally just one mention, and I'm like, oh, I want dragons. So I'm left with so many questions, and I'm not liking the story. I hate the main character. She seems pretty damn useless. She keeps remarking about the fact that she is plain and everyone around her is handsome, and they're King's Guard and they're older than her, but they're still good looking. And she's like, did my mom choose these guards just because they're handsome? I'm like, bitch, what? Maybe, but that's not the point. But it keeps coming up. Like, it's been mentioned in one chapter. It was mentioned like 4 times. I'm like, can you get over yourself, girly? Please? I don't understand this world. I don't understand. And now she's been kidnapped. Like, that's how chapter 2 ends. The bad guys caught up with them, they fought them off, and they've been kidnapped. She and the one guard that was, you know, kept with her when they switched her horse and her armor. She would have been much better on her horse because her horse got to know her. She knew that horse. She would have been much better without the armor. Not because she would have been less protected, but because she would have been able to ride better and been faster. Like, she already admitted at the very beginning she wasn't a great rider. And again, you were raised in seclusion with the knowledge that you're going to be queen someday. Why the fuck wasn't she taught to ride better? I understand, like, there's some explanation given. She was taught to ride the horse that one of her caregivers had, and that horse was older. Except for that is really not a good explanation of why you're not a better rider. There's too many inconsistencies and too many things that are pissing me off, and I'm just like, I don't even know if I want to finish the story. And it's not a short one, it's a long one. I'm just so annoyed. I'm just so annoyed. And I don't really have a reason to be. Meh. Too many problems. Hopefully it gets better, but we'll see. I'm not counting on it. My annoyance knows no bounds. So already in chapter 3, the kidnappers found the second necklace that was originally in the envelope with Careful. And he knows more about this damn necklace than she does. Again, she was raised to be the queen of this land, and she was given no fucking knowledge of this stuff. She was taught so many different things, but there was so many things that her caregivers were like, I promised the queen I wouldn't say. I'm like, no, bitch, you want this person to rule. You want them to successfully rule. Tell her what she needs to fucking know. I don't understand why all the secrets. Like, what the fuck was so bad? Why did they promise her mom, who is dead, by the way? And they don't owe her anything after she's dead. At least not in my opinion, they don't. Apparently they do, because even the Queen's Guard was like, we can't tell you anything because we promised the Queen and we're her men still. I'm like, dude, she's dead. She's been dead for years, decades. The fuck? So yeah, I'm getting more and more annoyed with this book the further I get. And I don't like it. And I'm honestly, you know, the comment that has annoyed me already was the fact that she found out she'd been bathed and dressed in not her clothes. And she's looking down at herself and she flushes and she's like, oh my god. In her head, she doesn't say anything about it. And her kidnapper smiles at her and be like, you're much too plain for my taste. I'm like, again, we're mentioning how plain she is. Like, is that supposed to be like the only thing about her? This has got like fantasy Bella Swan all over it. Like, are we going to spend the entire book complaining about how plain we are compared to how handsome and good looking everyone else is and how, oh, woe is me? Like, is that what this book is going to be? Because I'm starting to feel like it is. Where the fuck does this story take place? So they're telling a story of the crossing, the Great Crossing, that seems to be like the start of this world. And they're talking about Americans not surviving. What am I reading? What am I listening to? Where is this world? When is this world? Like, I'm very, very, very confused now. I am 50% through this book. I just hit the 50% mark. And the desire to DNF it is so fucking strong. I am so tired of this book. I realize now why I prefer more urban fantasy to like regular fantasy, because I'm so fucking tired in fantasy books of, like, it's fantasy, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. So why is it that in so many fantasy books they resort to sexual assault and rape? And just because in this particular book it's the opposite happening, it's not a man raping, or it's not men sexually assaulting women, it's women sexually assaulting men. That does not make it any fucking better. And I'm so tired of that being such a staple in fantasy when, like, there's other plot points you can take. Like, in this particular book, I get it, there was a war and a treaty was bound up in order to end the war. And in that war, in that treaty, it was decided that the losing kingdom would send every
season, every year, there's a lottery every once in a while. And 250 names are pulled in this lottery. And those people are sent to the Winning Kingdom's land as slaves. And they are sold as slaves. And the queen handpicks from every shipment, the queen handpicks some of the slaves to be her partners in bed. But she has to drug them to get them compliant. And while the sexual acts themselves are not graphic in this particular story, the way the different acts are talked about with such nonchalance, as if like, it's just another fucking day in the park, is pissing me off so goddamn much. And it feels like there's only one person that's even irritated about the way things are. Everyone else has pretty much just accepted it. And in a way, I get it. Most of the people who have just accepted it are from the Losing Kingdom, and they've been beaten down so many times that they don't see a way out of this. But the fact that they don't seem to even feel like it's wrong, it's not even that they accept it, it's that it's so commonplace that it's just, it's not one of those, well, we lost the war, this is our punishment kind of things. No, it's it almost feels like, even if the war hadn't been lost, even if this was just like those people lived in the same kingdom, like the Winning Kingdom people lived in this kingdom, like that would be happening anyways, and they've just accepted it as normal. And I'm just like, why? This is why there's so many shows I refuse to watch, because I know that it has like sexual assault as it's like that's its normal, and it's I'm so tired of assault being used as a plot device to move the story forward, especially like when the story would actually be just as good, if not better, without it in there. At this point, I don't know what would make this better. And I think it's in part due to the fact of how graphic it is. Like I said, the sexual assaults themselves are not discussed, but like the nonchalance leading up to it, and the way they talk so nonchalantly about drugging, and this is probably going to be TMI, but literally this particular chapter, it's the queen, and she's like, she needs this guy drugged, but not too drugged, because she still needs him to get hard so that she can do what she needs to do. And I'm like, the fuck? And it's like the level of detail that goes into talking about the acts without the acts themselves being described. That's the disturbing part, I think. It's the way that it kind of skirts around the issue without actually skirting around the issue, if that makes sense. And it's just, I'm so fucking done. Slavery triggers me as well. Like I don't know how that could be removed from this particular story, because it is like the main portion of the treaty with these two kingdoms, is that's legit how they've managed to basically dampen the people's resolve and beat them down, is that the deal is that the Losing Kingdom sends 250 people. It's men, women, and children. No one is exempt. No one. I think people over a certain age are exempt, and obviously the nobility are exempt, but like, and the church is exempt. So much greed, so much. Like, actually, no, I know a perfect way we could have gotten rid of the slavery. There's so much greed and corruption with this particular kingdom that they legit could have left out the slavery. They could have left out the sexual assault. They could have left out the rape. And they could have just talked about the greed and corruption and the plants in the kingdom, like the queen planting her people in various locations to get information and power and stuff like that. Like, we could have left out all of that other stuff and the story would still be good. But I'm spending 90% of my time listening to this on audiobook, and it's just, a knife is twisting in my gut because I hate it so fucking much. And then another point is, like, this girl has been secluded for the past 19 years. How? The kingdom is described as being big, but not like super big. How the fuck does she stay hidden for 19 years when there's so many people looking for her? And the people looking for her have magic. It doesn't make any bloody sense to me. It really doesn't. The only other thing I can figure is that the necklace she wears actually hid her for those 19 years. But at the same time, now she's come forward. She's trying to take her kingdom. Her uncle has been on the throne basically as regent. He's actually not supposed to be on the throne, but of course, he's a greedy little shithead, so he's sitting on the throne when she's trying to get crowned, and his men, his guards that are actually mercenaries, attempt to kill her when she's surrounded by guards. And she does manage to get stabbed, but no one sees how she got stabbed, even though she's surrounded by all these guards. They're looking out in every different direction. Like, how that get past? And also, why is it that during the coronation, like, why, legit, in front of the rest of the nobility, her uncle tried to take her out? It's very obvious her uncle tried to take her out. So, why was he allowed to live, first of all, after the coronation? Because as queen, that would have been my first act. You just tried to assassinate me. It's obvious you tried to assassinate me. Fuck you, good night. Forever. Kind of thing. But, like, the other thing that pisses me off is that during the coronation ceremony, she's got a knife in her back. She's bleeding out. She's bleeding profusely. She's like the Black Knight from Monty Python. It's like, it's just a flesh wound. And at one point, she tells the guard, she's like, he tells her that she's losing too much blood and she's going to pass out. And she was like, just kick me awake. That's not how that fucking works. If you got a knife wound like that and you're bleeding profusely, kicking you awake is not going to work. It might work once when you're just starting to lose consciousness. He kicks her like 3 or 4 times. This story makes no bloody sense. I have to suspend so much belief in order for it to make sense. Like, there's just so much about it that doesn't... I want to DNF it so bad. I want to DNF it so bad. I think I'm going to. I'm 50% in, and I'm hating it. I hate the main character. She's always whining about the fact that she's too plain and everyone else around her is beautiful as hell. And yet she's just described... Basically, every bad guy is described as ugly. Every good guy is described as handsome. Every single one. Every single one. I think the only bad guy so far that has been described as pretty is the queen of the neighboring kingdom that rapes her slaves. That's literally, and actually I don't even remember if she was actually described as pretty. I could be wrong about that. I'm pretty certain she was described as pretty. Or at least she thinks herself as pretty. Maybe that's it. Maybe she's not pretty. Maybe she just thinks herself as pretty. But I am so fucking tired of every... Like, I can tell who the villains are. I can tell who the bad guys are because they're always described as ugly. And the good guys are always described as handsome. In fact, still, to this 50% in, she's always whining about how plain she is. And how handsome her mom's guards are. And how her mom must have picked these guards because they were handsome. Like, bitch, please, can you move the fuck on? You got a kingdom to run. A kingdom you know absolutely shit about because no one will tell you anything about it. No one will tell you about how your mom ran the kingdom. No one will tell you about your mom, period. You haven't picked up a goddamn history book, but you've read the Bible multiple times. Enough times that you do not follow the Bible. Like, I don't follow any particular religion. And I've read the Bible all the way through. However, the way the main character discusses religion is so damn disrespectful. It's like... How do I describe this? Like, religion just popped up, basically. 50% in at the coronation. Because, of course, a priest had to... I don't even know if he's a priest. Father? Priest? I think this book follows Catholicism, except I'm not positive it follows Catholicism because of the fact that some of these characters, when we switched point of views to the priest, talked about cardinals. And yet the then there's the Holy Father. But he's not described as a pope? I don't know exactly what's happening. And maybe that's on me. Maybe my knowledge of the hierarchy as far as like religion goes, I know a little bit about the about Catholicism, obviously with the cardinals and the popes. But maybe it's possible that Christianity has a similar hierarchy structure and I just don't know about it. It's possible. But something tells me no. Something tells me that this book is trying to mix Christian values with Catholicism, and it's not the same. They are not, they derive from the same, but they are not the same. And yet, a lot of the religion that was talked about it before the mention of the cardinals and the Holy Father was very Christian based rather than Catholic based. And I'm starting to wonder if there is a mixture. I feel like I'm just hating on this book at this point because there's so much stuff that I'm just like, what the fuck am I reading? And again, some of it might just be to me and my ignorance about various things, but I have a feeling it's not. I have a feeling this is just a bad book that was way overhyped when it came out. Like, I remember wanting to read it years ago when it first came out because it was being talked about so much as a great, fantastic book, and I'm listening to it going, no, the fuck this isn't. This is just shit. Like, there are so many better fantasy books out there. And the worst part about it is I think this was geared as a young adult book, and this is not fucking young adult. Just because the spice is not spicy that we've had so far, which I'm fucking glad it's not, because the only spice that we've had is all these sexual assault scenes. There has been no sexual assault scenes. That's not the way I want to word it. There has been talk of sexually assaulting people without us actually getting the gratification is not the right word. Glorifying. That's not the right word either. I don't know what word I'm looking for. I'm really tired. But, like, we're getting the scenes that lead up to the sex. But we're not getting any sex, which I'm very happy about because of the fact that the only scenes that would have been sexy at this point are sexual assault scenes. And I don't want that shit. I don't fucking want it. But I'm just like, I'm so done with this book. I think I'm going to DNF it. I can't stand it anymore. I can't. And at the same time, I want to know what happens with this stupid queen who rapes her slaves. I want to know what happens with this ignorant little bitch of a queen who just got put on the throne and doesn't know any damn thing about her kingdom. She doesn't know how it's run. She doesn't know how it's been run for the past several years. She didn't know any of her uncle's policies and how he's been running it as regent, even though she's supposed to be taking over after him. Like, there are just so many things about this damn book that don't make any damn sense. And I think I have to be done with it. I cannot stand it. How is this so hyped up? Like, how? And I want to know, is it still being, I could have sworn it was being marketed as a young adult. And now I'm just like, was it? Or am I just imagining it? Now I have to know. Because I feel like it was. Yeah, it's labeled a young adult. This is not a young adult book. Not with the way it's glorifying sexual assault. There's no fucking way. There's no way. I'm so annoyed. I'm so fucking annoyed. I think I have to DNF this book. As much as I want to know the ending. I'm gonna go read some reviews and spoil it for myself because I can't. I cannot. And it's the first of 3. Which tells me, because it's fantasy, because it's young adults, because it's fantasy and young adult, that tells me all I need to know. It's going to end on a cliffhanger. I'm not going to get the answers I want because it's going to be in the next book. Except they won't be in the next book. They'll be in the last book. And I am not going to read all 3 books just to find out the answer to what I want to know. So I'm going to go spoil the ending of it for myself. Hopefully I can find some spoiler-filled reviews because now I want to fucking know. I'm so done. I'm done. another little bit of rant. So I have mentioned multiple times that I don't know where the fuck this book takes place. I don't know when it takes place. It feels like it's supposed to be like medieval fantasy because we're riding horses, we got kingdoms and stuff like that. But then there's modern talk mentioned that just drags me out of that setting and reminds me that this is probably like post-apocalyptic or something. And in this previous scene that I just bitched about, where the opposite kingdoms, the bad kingdom's queen is like getting ready to fuck some slaves, she looks down at a watch. A watch? In fantasy? Where the fuck does this book take place? When does it take place? What the fuck is going on? I really, really don't understand this book. And I actually just read a review. It's long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing because this vlog is already way too long. But it's basically a rant, and it's a summary of everything that happens in the book. And everything she's mentioned so far is exactly what I've been complaining about. It's hilarious. I'll have a link of that review in the description because I find it absolutely entertaining and accurate. It's like so accurate. It's so fucking accurate. So, yeah, I have no idea what is going on as far as like where the story takes place, when it's taking place. And yeah, she talks about the fact of everything that's going on in this story, and it's on par with everything I am thinking myself. So yeah, I think DNF-ing is a good idea. I think it's going to be a good idea. I'm going to finish reading her review now. It's really long. So I'll check back in later maybe. This might be the end. Decision made. I'm DNF-ing this. I've now read several different reviews, and the ones giving it high praise don't describe any reasons why they like it. They just say, great book, awesome premise, stuff like that. And it's not an awesome premise. Like, it's not. The whole book so far, I'm 50% in, and she's only just now made it from literally the book starts when the guards appear on her doorstep and say, hey, we're taking you home, to now, 50% in, she just got coronated. She just made it home. The fuck is the rest of the book about? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. And I'm not going to find out, because the only reviews that actually went into detail about anything in the book are the negative ones. And every single negative point is something I agree with. So, take that as you will. I am DNF-ing Queen of the Tearling. Yes, 50% in. I can't do it anymore. I hate this character so much. I hate every character so much. You want to know who my favorite character is? My favorite character is someone I'm pretty certain we're not supposed to really like. And honestly, he's not much better than the rest of the characters either. And he is a criminal that I think is supposed to be like Robin Hood-esque. His name is The Fetch. He wears a mask. He steals from the rich, but he does not give to the poor, which is why I say Robin Hood-esque. And yet somehow, even though he doesn't give to the poor still love him. Make it make sense. Really, make it make sense. Because all he does is steal from the rich, and he keeps the spoils for himself and his people. Does not make sense. Does not make sense. And he's my favorite character. Out of everyone. I have a secondary favorite character, but even him, he's an asshole. And he's literally written to be that way. And I do not appreciate that. There's been times where, like, there's no need for him to be a jerk, and he's a jerk. I'm DNF-ing it. I'm calling it now. This vlog was probably pretty boring, but yeah, I can't handle it. I need another Q-related story, but I can't do this one. This is not it. So, moving on, picking a new book, and going from there. Queen of the Tearling is not for me. If you enjoyed it, I apologize for everything I said. These are just my opinions about this book. I am curious to know if anyone enjoyed it, though, because I want to know what you enjoyed about it, other than just it was good. And that's all the good reviews. That's all it's literally saying about it, is that it was good. There's nothing describing what they liked about it. And I'm curious, if you liked this book, what you liked about it. I just want to know.
Alright, so there you have it. That is my thoughts and feelings about the Queen of the Tearling. It had so much potential because I've loved the initial premise. I love a good hidden away princess. However, the fact that she's been hidden away and she was raised by these people who were very involved in the politics of the kingdom, and yet didn't know anything about her kingdom. Red flag right there. I'm just saying, I don't want a queen who doesn't know shit about the kingdom, doesn't know the history of the kingdom, but can tell you basically everything else. How is it that you can speak 14 languages, but you cannot tell me the history of your own goddamn kingdom that you are supposed to rule? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. I will be doing vlogs again very shortly, so hopefully this will be the last, you know, reading vlog for a while, except as like a bonus video. But yeah, just another reminder that I do have a post in my community tab. I have my 10-year authortube anniversary coming up soon, and so if you want to click on that post, I do have a form in there if you want to ask me any questions that you'd like me to answer, because I plan on doing a video or live stream revolving around that very soon. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I'll see you guys in my next video or vlog. Bye, Dragonlings.